All right, let's get started talking about water. So how many in here, raise your hand, have been drinking this amazing water so far? Awesome, good. Well, I'm going on 13 years of drinking hydrogen water. So I kind of want to take you back in time a little bit and kind of share with you how we got here. Would that be okay? All right. So here we are, alkaline water versus hydrogen water. How many of you have heard of alkaline water? 13 years ago, when I heard about Kangen water, it was all about how to alkaline the body, and your body can't have disease in an acid, or can't have disease in an alkaline body. So how many of you heard of that? Yes. Okay, so there's new research, and that's been out, it's been out about a month now, but 10 years of research come to us that alkaline water has no impact on your health when it comes from an ionizer device. None. It's the hydrogen that's in the alkaline water that produces the benefit. Can you imagine? So all these waters on the shelf that you see, the alkaline water, there's no benefit. It's the hydrogen in there. And hydrogen is the smallest antioxidant, but it's sensitive. So as you put it in a bottle like this, it's only going to last about 3 days. So it's a lot of hype. So when I was in a company called Kangen, how many of you ever heard of Kangen water? Okay, so that's where I started about 12 years ago. So my story was that I was clinically obese. I had mercury poisoning, adrenal fatigue, and no female cycle for 8 years, no periods. So I kept going to the doctor, and the doctor would just say, we don't know what's going on with you. Here's a pill for your symptoms. So it was doctor after doctor, the pill after the pill, and I got really stumped. I was like, what is going on? My grandfather is a very scientific, skeptical gentleman, and he heard about this Kangen water. And my grandpa bought this Kangen water device. So because of my grandpa, my whole family was like, whoa, grandpa bought this $4,000 to $5,000 machine for his health? Like, this is really odd. If grandpa did it, let's all purchase it. So my family owns Beaver Bark. How many of you know where Beaver Bark's at? Yeah. I used to work there at the front counter. So I had all these health issues. We have a lot of customers that come to us, and they start to see our whole family drinking the water, because as my parents bought one, I said, I have to have one. So we start drinking the water. We have these blue jugs. We're drinking the water all day long. So our customers start saying, gosh, Amanda, seems like you have more energy lately. You're like losing weight. Your skin's glowing. What are you doing? I said, I think it's this water. And they looked at me like, yeah, right. Water is helping you out of all the things. I said, look, I happen to have this device in my house. I'll bring it down from my house. I'll put it in our back break room. Just come for free. Guess what happened next? A month and a half later, I had 50 people coming into Beaver Bark to get water. My job was at the front counter in this little 10 by 10 area, answering the phone, ringing people up. So when I'd see the customer from the parking lot with the jugs get excited, I would take off and go in the back break room. I'd be there all day long filling up water jugs. Customers start saying, oh my gosh, my inflammation, my hands is gone, my headache seems to go away, my acid reflux, my fibromyalgia. I was like, are you sure it's the water? They're like, yeah, I think so. And they wanted to purchase it. So 2 months into this, I told my parents, I said, Mom and Dad, I know you want to own Beaver Bark and take your legacy. That's not my passion. I really love to help people. And I'm going to do it one glass of water at a time. So I quit my job and started becoming very passionate about water. Started traveling all around the world, became an author, been on CNN, NBC, Fox News. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I just really wanted to help people. So about a year ago, I decided I want to put a water store. It's going to be one of 100 locations. And unfortunately, because of the company, Enagic, and their policies and procedures, you can't really do that with that type of company. And they changed a lot of things, which led me to creating our own company and our own brand that is focusing on the therapeutic benefits of hydrogen, which is in the device. So that's how we got the best hydrogen water. So now we know that the Enagic Kangen water is older technology. There's a lot of cleaning, there's a lot of maintenance in there. And so you're not getting that much hydrogen. So we'd always recommend people to drink a gallon a day, because that gives you a therapeutic dose. Here, a glass is going to give you a therapeutic dose, less than a glass. So that's the difference. So with our technology, you're going to see here, there's no maintenance, there's no cleaning, there's a very robust filtration system in place. And so we are excited. So that's how we got here. Alkaline versus hydrogen. So now you know the only benefit to alkaline water is the hydrogen in it. Okay. How much is a therapeutic dose of hydrogen? Anybody know? 0.5 parts per million. So you need to have at least 0.5 parts per million to be a therapeutic dose. And there's now over 2,000 studies proving its effectiveness in nearly 170 different disease models. And why is that? Yep, because of oxidation. So what's our mission here at our company? Freeing people from physical pain and financial pain while providing solutions for the whole entire home to be chemical free. That is our mission. So how many of you love that mission? Awesome, good. All right, so the problem is oxidation. So there's one thing that's linked to every disease process. Doesn't matter if it's Alzheimer's, Asperger's, digestive issues, colon issues, doesn't matter what it is. It's all linked to one thing. What is that? Oxidation. Yes, where is oxidation coming from? Yes, it's causing aging. So it's stress. So we get the stress from our environment, the pollution, the toxins, the drinking water, all the pesticides and herbicides that are in our food is coming in, creating oxidation, which is like the apple that gets brown, the nail that starts rusting. So that's oxidation. So on the flip side of that, what's the opposite of oxidation? Anti. Yeah, anti. So you heard of antioxidants, right? Vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, fruits and vegetables. So those protect our bodies from the process of oxidation, which is linked to every single disease process. So do you think it's pretty important that we take in antioxidants if we know oxidation is behind every disease process? Absolutely. And oxidation creates inflammation. So how many people do you know that struggle with pain every day? Why is there pain there? Oxidation leads to inflammation. Yep, caused by free radicals. And the free radicals are not just from the environment or our own thoughts. So a negative thought creates another negative thought, and pretty soon we're producing cortisol and adrenaline. Those hormones are extremely aging and oxidizing to the body. That's why when you see someone that had a traumatic situation in their life, maybe went through a divorce or some kind of a hardship, that you look at them and you're like, what happened to you? You're like really thin and you look like you aged a lot. That's from the oxidation caused by the cortisol, all those hormones. And so that's where this water is able to help neutralize that process. Okay, understanding so far? All right. Okay, so the main sources here, water, air, and food. Even while we're living and breathing, you can't get away from oxidation. Even breathing causes oxidation. Unless you're like living in a bubble and you're just breathing hydrogen. Then maybe you're okay, but most of us don't do that. I know I would love to, but that's just not practical. And then our food. Okay, our food is loaded with contaminants. Our soil is loaded with contaminants, and therefore our body is contaminants as well. So would you say that way back in the 1950s, 1940s, was it a cleaner environment then, or is it a cleaner environment now? Is there more pollution now, or is there more pollution then? Pollution now. Yes, exactly. So as we go, we're getting more and more contaminants, more and more chemicals, which means our body has to try to cope with that. And so we're seeing disease start faster now. We're seeing all types of things start manifesting in young little children with diabetes, childhood obesity, 8 years old, coming from obesogens, toxins. So we have a big, big problem. Now let's think about our water supply. So what's safe drinking water? They say, oh yeah, my city water is safe to drink. So what classifies safe? State water test. Yes, exactly. So there was an act back in 1996, and it got revisited in 2018. It got revisited, and guess what? Out of the 60,000 chemicals that are in our water, how many do you think they're regulating? 90. There's 60,000. They're looking at 90. So if your water falls within those 90 chemicals, it is deemed safe. What's wrong with that? What happens when you take one chemical and mix it with another chemical? It becomes another chemical. And so you have 60,000 of those chemicals mixing all together, and then you're putting it into the body. Anytime we're taking a prescription medication, where's it going? In our body and out of our body, right? Yeah. Where does that water go? Back to the sewage plant, which is mixed with sewage, fecal matter, all types of different things. And now that water gets filtered. Now, what kind of filter are we using? Is it a robust filter where it's purifying everything, pulling everything out, distilling it all? No, it's not. It's just meeting the standard. Then they're bleaching it. They're making it not smell bad by putting all types of different things in it. And now we look at it and we look at it's clear and it smells like chlorine, but that you think is safe. So what's wrong with that? Is it healthy or is it unhealthy? It's absolutely not good for the body. Yeah. And then we get sick, we go to the doctor, and then here we are getting a pill for our symptom again. So it's just a vicious cycle. And if our body is 75% water, do you think that makes a difference what kind we put in it? Absolutely. Yep. So there's the 1996. Okay, so here's the chemicals to watch out for. So these are the no-no list. Okay, so arsenic. What's arsenic? It's a class A carcinogen. Anyone know people that smoke? Okay, on the back of the cigarettes, what does it say? Warning, can cause cancer, right? Well, guess what? Arsenic, you go to the EPA's website, it says arsenic levels cause cancer, class A carcinogen. Out of 1 million people, there's 10%, almost 10% of those people getting cancer because of arsenic. That's a lot. That's like 100,000 people getting cancer because of arsenic. In Kennewick, it's 477 times over that limit. It's not within compliance. And there's a website we can go to take a look at that. So if someone's drinking arsenic water, what's the liver? It's your filter. So if you're drinking arsenic all the time and your liver is like, oh, how am I supposed to handle all these chemicals you're putting in there? Stomach cancer, colon cancer, all these different things caused by arsenic. And we don't even realize it. Lead's coming from the pipes. The lead is in there from older pipes, breaking down, getting into the water. Chlorine, everybody knows about chlorine, right? Because you can smell it. When you're showering in it, right? So when it hits your skin, what is it doing? Yes. And we want to stay young forever, right? So if chlorine is known as an oxidant, means it kills things because it's supposed to kill the bacteria, what's it doing to our skin? It's aging our skin, causing oxidation. And then our body's like a sponge, absorbs it. And so you're getting a high amount of the chlorine gas that's also our carcinogen. Okay, and then we have chloramines. That's another disinfecting byproduct of ammonia and chlorine mixing together. And so now you have all these disinfecting byproducts that meet an organic compound like a leaf. And now it creates another chemical that's more potent than chlorine. Could you imagine that? So chlorine is just one chemical, but it mixes with a leaf. And now you have a different thing going on that leads to even more issues than chlorine. We have mercury, which is going into the brain. How many people have heard of people with mercury poisoning? They're getting mercury fillings. And I had mercury poisoning, guys. I had tuna fish when I was eating the bodybuilder's diet when I was in my early 20s. And I'm getting mercury poisoning. And I tell you what it did to me. Brain fog, terrible brain fog. I would be ringing a customer up at the front counter at Beaver Bark, and I'd be like, did I just ring that customer up? Like, I don't remember. And I would be like embarrassed all the time because I couldn't remember what I had just said. It was horrible. So I had to go through chelation to get that out, but it's also found in our water. VOCs, volatile organic compounds. So these are another contaminant from disinfecting byproducts that are in our water as well. Pharmaceuticals. We know a lot of people are on the medication, and some need to be on medication. But man, I didn't know that all of you were also on Prilosec. Did you? If you're not drinking filtered water, you're on it. And then on the chemotherapy drugs also is I think it's the third thing that they find in water is like, oh, chemotherapy, wonderful. I'm taking it every day. Radiation, fantastic. I can hardly wait. We had our water checked here by a third-party source, and we found high amounts of radiation here. And it's just oxidation, which also radiates the thyroid. And then we have herbicides, pesticides, and the TTHM, which are known as forever chemicals. So those are in our water, they're hard to get out, and they're pretty much there forever. So those are on the watch list. So those are very dangerous contaminants. All right, so here's how our water becomes polluted. We have rapid development. So they're starting new infrastructures, new cities. You have improper sewage disposal, not being cleaned properly. Yeah, and then fertilizers, chemical runoffs. Then we have oil spills, chemical waste and dumping, and radioactive waste and discharge. So they actually are allowed to discharge the waste like Hanford. They're allowed to put some of it back into the environment. And there's a regulation on that, but it's allowed to go into it. It's that amazing? You worked out there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy. I bet you could tell some stories. All right, so then we think, okay, now that we know what we know about the tap water, what's the next step?
Bottled water.
Yeah, so then we think, okay, well, shoot, I better go get some bottled water. Well, I bet you didn't know that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, is who is behind the bottled water. They regulate it. There is less regulations with bottled water than there is with tap water. Can you imagine that? And so what they're doing is they're going to rural areas like California, for instance. They're pulling up the groundwater and they're taking it through a filter, and then they're putting it into a plastic bottle. And now that plastic is what? It's a xenoestrogen, which means it causes cancer, and it's an estrogen mimicking compound. So it mimics estrogen in the body. So now you have another thing that's causing oxidation. It's just a bunch of plastic chemicals, and you're putting water into it. Water is known as a solvent and a scavenger. Water breaks down anything it comes in contact with. So if you're putting water in plastic and letting it sit in there, what do you think is going to happen? And then what are we drinking? Plastic water. Yeah. 75% of men and ladies that have breast cancer. Raise your hand if you know someone that had breast cancer. So 75% of people with breast cancer have too much estrogen. It comes in the body and it tells that cell that has cancer to multiply and divide at a faster rate. It's like putting cancer on steroids. It's feeding it. So bottled water is an industry, and the markup, if you even thought about the markup on bottled water, how inexpensive is it to just, get tap water out? 2 cents a gallon, maybe less? Yeah. Yeah, so when you're buying Dasani water at the airport, like $2.19, there is almost 100% markup on that. It's all profit. And then that plastic is not going to get recycled. And if it does, it's actually part of the problem, because it's cheaper to make new plastic than it is to recycle old plastic. So now that plastic is going back in our landfills. There's now 2 sizes of the state of Texas floating of plastic, 3 feet deep. So it's out there floating around in the ocean, and the fish, they're like, oh, wow, look at that. They actually break it down into little neds. So it's very small, and the fish are like, oh, that's my food. I'm supposed to eat it. And now the fish are consuming the plastic as well. And then who eats fish? Yeah, we all do. So now we are becoming part of the food chain. So the plastic is part of the food chain. So it all goes around and around and around. So the next time you go to the store and you're looking at bottled water, I want yourself to ask you a question. Ask yourself a question. Is this good for me? Is this good for the environment? Is it worth my money? Because if you buy it, you're now contributing to the issue, because you're saying, yes, we're going to buy this, so please make more of it. So my mission is to ban bottled water altogether. Everybody can get at least a home filtration system, and you can drink it right out of your tap every day. That's the bare minimum. If you added up how much people are spending every single year to buy bottled water, what do you think that costs? Maybe. Just guess. Those of you that maybe used to do it, or
let's say $500 a year just for one, based off of 1 gallon.
Yeah.
Of water.
Yeah, so it's kind of different depending on where you go to get it.
And
But
how much you need.
yes.
Just you're going to need a gallon of water, but if you've got a family of 4.
Yes, exactly.
I see people with carts of
Mm-hmm.
bottled water.
I know it. And then you think about the Costco, it's on sale and it's outside, it's 100 degrees. And it's like, okay, I'm going to buy a whole bunch on sale. I'm going to put it in my car. It's 100 degrees out. And then I'm going to go get the water when it's convenient, because I don't want to take it all into the house, up the stairs, and put it in the fridge. That whole time that water sat in that plastic, got heated up, got cooled down, and now you're drinking all those contaminants. The average person spends about $5 a day to drink bottled water. That would be like $150 a month. I mean, that's a car payment for a lot of people. I mean, a year later, you're looking at about $1,200 or more. 30 years, 40 years later, you've spent like 50 to 60 grand just in bottled water alone. So when someone says, oh, this technology is expensive, well, what are you comparing it to? Compared to bottled water. It's fractions of the price once you understand what we have, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about the bundle pack here, but let's talk about what our system has. So you see the filtration system here, it's called the Elite. That's our whole house water system. So inside of our system, there's different medias to get out different contaminants. So here's what we're going to look at. So we're going to look at the number one thing. So there's 5 different medias. We normally have it here, but as you can see, here it is. So we have the first one, granulated activated carbon. We're going to go through these so you understand what they take out. Then we have premium catalytic carbon, the Kalox light, high density garnet, and the whole home ion core chamber system. This is what gives it the conditioning effect. So people that go and have a Colgan machine, how many of you know Colgan water softeners, Kinetico water softeners? Those are softeners. Are softeners cleaning the water? No, they're conditioning the water. So they're taking the calcium down, is what they're doing. They're exchanging calcium for magnesium. And you got to add salt every so often. So it's a great revenue for them because guess what? If you got to keep buying salt, you're just going to keep coming back over and over and over again. And then if you are getting a whole house water system, there's a filter that needs to be replaced, right? And any other system out there, you have to replace it every 2 years or more. So now it's like, oh yeah, we have a residual customer. We absolutely love it. So with our system, it's maintenance free, 10 years, and it washes itself. And it has a natural conditioner, the ion exchange, so you don't have to add the salt all the time. And how many of you in here have that device? Yeah, me too. And your skin looks amazing. Okay, so level 1. So as you can see here, the top level is NSF certified. That's a high level certification. It's acid wash, granular activated carbon, removes the chlorine. So first and foremost, boom, chlorine's coming out. Then you have the gases. So the vehicles out here that gets back into the groundwater, it's getting that out. You have heavy metals, odors, taste, dyes, fuels, pollutants, disinfectants, disinfectant byproducts, pesticides, the forever chemicals, sodium chloride, the volatile organic contaminants. So that's level number 1. It's getting out, boom. Okay. Then it goes through level number 2, which is the premium catalytic carbon. This removes chlorine, chloramines, taste, odor, providing long-lasting fresh water. This media filters a wide range of pH levels and adds a polish to the filtered water. Okay. Then we have the level 3, which is a lightweight media that removes iron. So we talked about iron, removes lead, manganese. That's another thing that we think manganese is probably good for us, in small little amounts, but it tends to be way too high, cause a lot of brain damage. It's really bad for babies and children. Even when you're soaking it, you're getting it too. So important to get out. Hydrogen sulfide, heavy metals. It gets all the way down to 3 microns. So it can get really, really small down in there. And then it saves on the backwash water. And we have number 4, which is the high hardness, high density filter media. It filters and provides high quality support bed for the entire system. So that's at the bottom. And then we have the chamber. That's the magnetic water conditioner that prevents the lime scale buildup and treats corrosion without chemicals, making it eco-friendly. Neat, isn't it? Okay, so this is the valve. So on top of the machine, there's a little valve, and this is using Bluetooth, and it offers some of those flexible monitoring and functions available. So you can change it. It's supposed to backwash every 5 days, but if you live in an area there's a lot of contaminants, it needs to wash itself more often, you can actually program it. So you can say, hey, we need it cleaning itself every 3 days. So you can clean it. You can also see how many gallons of water are going through it. So if you're at home, you're like, oh my gosh, there's a water leak. My thing's going through so much water. What's going on? You know, okay, we got problems in the pipes. Hookup and installation. This isn't something that you just want to go try and hook up yourself. We recommend that you get a certified plumber. It does take about 1 to 3 hours. So you need to put it where the main water line comes in. Maybe it's in the garage or in the utility room. It's typically where it's going to be hooked up. And then it has to have access to power and drainage. Okay, we have a lifetime warranty on the tank, 10-year on the media, and then 5 years on the valve. So that's the warranty. So it's meant to last. And now we're going to add the hydrogen to it. So protect our body from the oxidative stress using hydrogen. So that's the staple. Everybody that you know has got to have filtered water throughout their home. That's what we believe. Okay. Second to that is we're going to add the hydrogen. And then why the hydrogen? Well, let's talk about this little powerful miracle molecule. It's smart. It's selective. So we have good free radicals that are in our body. So for instance, how many of you want to lose some extra body fat? Okay, so as you take the fat and your body breaks it down to make energy, that process takes oxidation to do that. So hydrogen says, oh, that's a natural process in my body. Let's keep that alone. That's going to do its own thing over there. But this pesticide that's in my body right here, the cytotoxic chemical, that I'm going to go take care of. So it selectively says, this one's good, that one's good. Oh, nope, got to get rid of that one. Isn't that cool? Not a lot of antioxidants can do that. This one can. All right, it's the smallest. So if it's the smallest, where is it going to go in our body? Everywhere. It goes everywhere. It's so small. It's the tiniest molecule that there is. So that means if someone's got a brain issue, what do we have around our brain? Anybody know? Yeah, it's called a blood-brain barrier. And it surrounds our brain. It protects our brain from the EMFs, from whatever it is in our environment. It protects it. And not a lot of things can get through that barrier. Hydrogen can get through the barrier into the brain, helps the brain conduct electricity. So those of you that know people that have Alzheimer's or sometimers, sometimes you're here, sometimes you're not. Guess what's happening to those brain cells? They're aging, they're oxidizing, they're getting older. So if hydrogen can go into the brain, help remove the oxidation from the brain cells, what's going to happen to the brain? Cognitive function. Yeah, wow, look at me, I can think again. Wow, that's cool, isn't it? So it helps the brain from aging, helps stimulate brain activity. And it's been shown now in many, many studies to do that. So it's the smallest. So it can get through every single pore, every single cell. It gets right to the mitochondria of the cell. It's very powerful. All right, what about the heart health? So there's over 2,000 studies now on hydrogen, which is a lot of studies. I mean, that's a lot. So there's 136 studies right now on cardiovascular disease. So why did I choose cardiovascular disease out of all the different diseases to check to see about the studies? That's the #1 killer here in the US is heart disease. #1. So if the #1 thing is heart disease, it's killing people, do you think it'd be important to know that this hydrogen has 136 studies proving that it can help overcome the oxidative stress leading to heart disease? Yeah, absolutely. Then the next one we have is diabetes. Diabetes is a global epidemic. It's oxidizing disease. So there's now 55 studies on weight loss and diabetes with hydrogen. 55 studies. Can you imagine that? That is a lot. How many studies do you think they have with the weight loss pills? 2, 3, 4, maybe? Yeah, not that many. There's 55 studies alone just on weight loss and diabetes and blood sugar. Powerful. All right, then we have inflammation. As you know, oxidation leads to inflammation. So anyone that you know has an itis, how many of you know has any itises? So when you hear your aunt saying, hey, I have arthritis, what are you going to say? I know what causes that. Oh, really? What is it? Oxidation caused by free radicals. It causes inflammation. So if you get rid of the oxidation, what's going to happen to the inflammation? Yes, it goes away. Isn't that powerful? So we have the ability to do that, and it's back with 174 studies. Now, what about the gut? How many of us know that we have 2 brains? One here and one here. Our brain and our gut are in constant communication. And our gut is making hormones, chemical messengers. So if our bacteria, called our microbiome in the gut, is not balanced, and you have too much bad bacteria, not enough good bacteria, what do you think is the communications coming? Negative thoughts, negative environment. Oh my gosh, I'm depressed all the time. So your serotonin, your dopamine, and norepinephrine is made in your gut. So if you have good gut bacteria, you're going to have better thoughts because you're creating more of those hormones that create that powerful change in your life. And hydrogen goes in there as you drink it, and it helps balance the gut bacteria. It feeds the good gut bacteria. That's what it does. It changes the terrain of the gut. So in our gut, we have a hydrogen generator. Did you know that? You make hydrogen. You make hydrogen. We all make hydrogen. But how do we make the hydrogen? Anybody know? Your body is so smart, but you have to eat fiber. So as you eat fiber, the bacteria called hydrogen trophs eat the fiber. And then they make the hydrogen that feeds the other bacteria, and it provides antioxidants. So that's what's supposed to happen. And how many of us eat the standard daily recommendation of fiber? Absolutely. And how much is that?
Well, I don't know.
So the average female is supposed to have at least 26 grams of fiber a day. And for a male, it's up to 36 grams. That's according to the Mayo Clinic, which is very low standards.
We have a hemp protein that we have in the morning that does 11 grams of fiber.
Wow, amazing. That's awesome.
And then, of course, whatever else we're eating.
That's great. So you're getting lots of that. So most of us are not doing what Callie's doing. We're not eating spinach and leafy greens and all these other great things for us because it's hard to consume that much food in a day. I mean, you literally, unless you have a supplement like that, you literally have to eat plates of spinach, like a lot, to make the recommended amount of hydrogen, especially if you're under a lot more stress, because we're going to eat up a lot more hydrogen because our body's using it a lot more. And so that's the powerful thing about hydrogen here is you can't get too much of it. If I put you in the inhalation machine, Alex, and I had you drinking the water and I had you soaking in the spa with hydrogen, what's going to happen to you if you get too much of it? No, it's fine. Not going to harm you at all. Nope, you'll just breathe it right out. If your body doesn't use it, you'll just breathe it right out. So there's no toxicity in any amount. That's why I absolutely love it. Okay, so let's talk about the brain activity. So as you drink the hydrogen, it stimulates a chemical that goes right to your brain. And that chemical stimulates the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, and the brain stem called ghrelin. So if you want to have better cognitive function, it's been proven over and over and over again that ghrelin helps stimulate the brain activity. And hydrogen stimulates that process. Okay. It helps your own body make its own antioxidant. So did you know your body makes antioxidants? What's the main antioxidant your body makes? Anybody know? Yes, did you say that or Renee? Yes, glutathione. Your body makes a very powerful antioxidant called glutathione. So can you take glutathione in a pill form? No. Yeah, your body can't, it can't make it. You have to have it in your body. Sometimes you can take IVs for this, but as you consume hydrogen, guess what it does? It upregulates your own body's natural antioxidant. So now your body has its own more natural antioxidants. It's cool, isn't it? I mean, there's so many different things. Now it communicates with different cells. So imagine that I'm the owner of the company. I have 200 employees every day. And those 200 employees are relying on me to tell them what to do. And I'm hydrogen. And now what happens if I'm like, I'm not going to come to work today. I just don't feel like talking to my employees anymore. What's going to happen to all the tasks the employees are going to start to have to want to do? Unless I'd really train them good, have good systems. What's going to happen? The employees are lost. They're like, I don't know what to do today. What are you going to do over there? I don't know. And then pretty soon the whole system falls apart because the hydrogen wasn't there. So hydrogen plays a role in over 200 different processes within your body. So if it's not there, all the other systems are lacking. Okay, is it safe? Yes, we talked about that. So now we get to choose, okay? If not the bottled water, if not the tap water, what are we gonna have? How many of you would love to have, say, hydrogen water with a whole filter? That's what we want. Hello. So everybody wants it, but why doesn't everybody get it?
So readily available and expensive for everything.
Yes. Yes. So people don't get it because they don't want to spend the money. That's the 95, 90, 100% of it the time. It's because people don't spend the money. But when do they spend the money?
When you get sick.
Yes. People spend the money when the pain is great enough for change. Oh, I got diabetes. I went to that seminar last week and I remember that she talked about that diabetes and that water helping. I'll go down there and get it. So that's what happens because our brain and our environment is how they train us. They train us to get sick and then look for help. Whereas in certain other areas of the country, you're supposed to prevent your health from getting sick. So if we're all drinking water, we have to make the decision. Do we want to drink better water for our bodies and help prolong our health? Or do we want to drink the water that we know is going to have toxins and contaminants? It's not good for us. So how many of you would choose toxin contaminants? No, you're going to all choose the best water. So that's why we have affordable financing for people too. So we literally can get these units for $40 per month, which is less expensive than people are spending in bottled water. Okay. So now we're going to go through the different products that we have. But before I do that, I want to show you here the power of the hydrogen. So we'll go through these different liquids. So how many of you used to drink Dasani water? Yes, I used to call it dishonest water. Well, I still do call it dishonest water. Why is that? Do you know that there's ingredients in this water? The first one is magnesium sulfate followed by potassium chloride. So what are those used for? Taste, it says. But if you do a little bit more research, you're going to find that those cause you to get thirsty. Ooh, remember we talked about the profit margin here? So instead of drinking one, you're going to drink two. That doubles the profit for them. Wow, that's pretty smart of them, isn't it? Then we have, of course, the water, the plastic in here. So this is reverse osmosis. So what's reverse osmosis? Yeah, so it's pulling everything out of the water. And then we have the essential water. So this is purified water, which is reverse osmosis. And then they add in sodium bicarbonate. That's baking soda. Yes. And so they're basically taking purified water, adding baking soda. So if you wanted to do something like that, then all you want to do is just get a reverse osmosis system in your home, put a little baking soda, and then you can save yourself. This is like $3. Then we have our soda pop, which we know is a lot of sugar and oxidation, genetically been modified. And then we have our hydrogen water here. So there's many different ways that we can test for hydrogen. This is one of the ways. I'm just going to show you a couple of ways. So this is called an ORP meter. So it's also going to be depending on the pH of the water as well. But if it's negative, that means it's good for you. So when you step on a scale and the weight's going down, that's good. Negative. If it's positive and weight's going up, that's typically not very good if you're trying to watch your weight, right? So that's how this works. Negative, good, positive, bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the first one here. So the more plastic contaminants that are in the water, and we have a positive 84. Okay, next one. Positive 81. And now we have, ooh, it's a little bit better. So you have a positive 46. And now the soda pop here. Ooh, that one climbed right up there. We see it? Probably not. It's 205 positive. Yeah. Okay, and then we have the hydrogen water here. And can you see the negative? We have a negative 400. You see that? So you have a positive and then you have a negative. So that's indicating that it's removing the oxidation. Okay. All right. This is our chlorinated water here, I would imagine. Okay. So does anyone want to be a volunteer? Do you want to be Vanna White? Yes. Okay, great. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take our tap water and I'm going to have Callie do one thing for me. Put your hand in this water. Okay. Can just like you're washing your fingers. Okay. All right. Thank you, Callie. You can have a seat. All right. So what do you think she just did? Chlorine is in our water. So chlorine is a gas, isn't it? So if chlorine is a gas and our skin goes into this water, what do you think the chlorine is going to do? Your skin's going to soak it right up. Yeah. And then the chlorine, if you're drinking chlorinated water, kills bacteria, right? That's why it's in the water. Kills the Cryptosporidium, the Giardia, all those little cysts and swoles in the water. Well, our good bacteria, do you think it's going to kill the good gut guys? Yes, and then your immune system goes down. So watch this. So this is chlorine indicating drop. So if it turns yellow, it's going to have chlorine in it. So as you can see here, wow, look at that. There's the chlorine. Can you see that? That's the chlorine present in the water. All of our water is mandated to have that chemical in it. It has to have it. Now over here, Callie's little fingers went in there. That's why you clap for her, because you took one for the team. Thank you very much. Okay, and now we see that. This just shows you, and if you're washing your fruits and vegetables in this, it's also bringing in the chlorine to your fruits and vegetables. So it's actually worse to wash your fruits and vegetables than to not wash it if you're washing chlorinated water, which is why when we shower, you want to have a filtration system that's throughout the home so it gets the contaminants out. Okay. Okay, so that we can also check here. These are hydrogen blue drops. So this is also another indication of hydrogen. So if it stays blue, there's no hydrogen. And these are kind of finicky, so you kind of have to really pay attention when you're doing it. There's a little vial that comes with it, but I'm just showing you. A lot of people are going to say, well, doesn't all water have hydrogen? H2O, right? So do you think that's true or not? Yeah, it's in a bond. H2O is bond together with hydrogen and oxygen. And so you would literally have to consume almost 1 million gallons of water to get the therapeutic dose, which was what at the beginning we talked about? 0.5 parts per million. So that's like a football field, like how deep? 10 feet deep of water you would have to literally drink to get the therapeutic dose of hydrogen. Okay, so you're not going to find it in any waters. So that's what our process that we use here goes through a process called electrolysis. And that process is what makes that hydrogen available. And so as you can see, it's gone, right? So it's just showing you the presence of hydrogen. So unlike all these other ones stay blue, this one eats up the dye because it shows you the hydrogen. So this is a very good way. There's also another one, which is much more expensive, that's more accurate as well. And we'll be getting that one later. Okay, so now you understand, like, wow, the difference there. And I have my little clicker here. Okay, so we're going to talk about our unit here. So this is called our home model unit. So this unit here comes with a filter, and we also have an additional filter that we provide with it. We don't sell it without it. Why do you think that is? Do you think there's a difference between your Brita filter and your refrigerator filter versus like a whole house water filter? Yes, because there's different media for different contaminants. So like a charcoal filter is going to get out what? Chlorine, odor, and taste. What about the disinfecting byproducts and the mercury and the arsenic and the pharmaceuticals and the heavy metals? Is it going to get that stuff out? No. So our system here has just a standard filter. And then we have the pre-filter that we also sell with it here, which is this guy here. So this goes underneath your sink, or you can go on top of the sink. And why we enjoy it is because it's eco-friendly. So inside, we take our whole house water system, which we talked about, and we shrink it down here. And we put the different medias here. And it's all organic. So once a year, you just pour in new media. So you don't have to buy a whole new canister. You just take it out, put it in. Take it out, put it in. Put it in your garden, throw it away. It's not going to harm anything for the environment. It's trapping those contaminants that are harder to get than the standard filter is going to do. So we got really passionate about that because when we were selling the Kangen water machine, we didn't know that the filter wasn't getting out these contaminants. And we'd recommend people get a pre-filter, but most of our clients were like, I'm not going to spend an extra $400 or $500 to get a pre-filter. That seems like a lot of money to spend. So now what did we do? Well, anything that you put through the process of ionization or electrolysis makes things more available. We didn't know this. So guess what happens to all those arsenic, pharmaceuticals, the heavy metals that the filter didn't get out? It puts a great charge on those metals or minerals or whatever it might be, and now it's going in the body. It could actually be doing more harm than good if you don't pay attention to that. So that's why we said we will not sell our filter without it. It comes with it in the pack. We make ozone water as well. So ozone is O3, and it kills. It kills everything. You can use it to sanitize your countertops, your toilets, your sinks, anywhere you want to kill bacteria. Wash your fruits and vegetables with it. We do have some clients that are drinking it for different skin issues and liver issues, gut issues. Do some research on it. There's tons of studies on it. But I don't recommend it because, I'm not a doctor. All right, but if I had something going on, I would definitely research it. We have purified water, so just filtered water. We have 3 different levels of hydrogen. So the lowest level is going to produce 0.8 parts per million. Therapeutic dose, how much? 0.5. Yep. The next level up gets you about 1.0 parts per million. And this also depends on your water supply coming in, how fast you're in the water. If you're going all the way to the very top at 3, you're going to about 1.5 to 2.0 parts per million a liter. So you're getting way more. Okay, and then we do have a heating function on there too, which is powerful. It's easy to hook up. You can hook it up to your faucet here, or you can mount it on the wall, or you can go to the side with a diverter. We have the option available as well. Okay. We use a technology called solid polymer electrolysis. So this technology is leading the world because it produces a very high amount of concentration of hydrogen, and it's simple to do. And so there's no maintenance, and it's very effective at producing hydrogen gas. and the warranty. So we have a 5-year warranty and you can extend it. So if you want a lifetime warranty, it's $250 more. Then you have a lifetime warranty on the unit. Has simple install directions. All right, so now we're going to talk about, so that's one of the units. I also want to talk about this guy here. So this is our server. It's our computer. So this does not have a filter. This is used underneath the counter. You can put this one and the water comes in and the water goes out through the spigot. This gets about 2.5 parts per million of hydrogen and it can go to your refrigerator. Well, that would be cool because you can make ice cubes now, hydrogen water ice cubes. So this is great. And we also have a cooler that we're manufacturing it now in our warehouse that has our server in it, and it makes hydrogen water in the cooler. So you can make hot and cold hydrogen water. So that will be available in about a week. It's cool. The next one we have here is our Hydro Clean. So this one here, how many of you have Kangen or no Kangen in the past? Yes. So you're excited when you can kill all these bacteria and germs with the push of a button, right? And it took salt to do that. So if you're buying the salt, you have to put the salt in there. And what does that do? Salt conducts electricity. So now you can make a water that kills bacteria. Well, the great thing here is that we do have ozone water, which does that. But then we also provide you with the HydroClean. So this one here has 2 processes, hypochlorous acid and hypochlorite. Hypochlorous acid your body makes. When you get a wound, your body sends hypochlorous acid out to help to heal it up, to oxidize it, to coagulate the blood. So now if you get a wound and you're like, oh, I'm going to get my body what it naturally does and I give it more of it. What's going to do? Heals it up faster. Kills all bacteria and germs, 99.9% bacteria and germs. If you have a sinus infection, what are you going to do? Neti pot. Snort the water. Kills the bacteria. You get a pink eye going on here, you're like, oh, put the water on the eye. Sore throat, you can use it as deodorant. What's the reason what we smell? Anybody know? Yeah, so if this kills bacteria, it takes odor away. Now, I will say, like, sure or unsure. If you want to be sure, you want to put it on like every couple hours. But what you can do is put a little essential oil in there if you're going to use it on, for smelling good. Put a little lavender in there, it could be sure. Okay. So the next step to this is you can use it for any kind of acne, eczema, psoriasis, blisters, anything topical on your skin. Okay. The next thing is you can add a little salt. You don't have to go buying the salt solution or whatnot. You just put table salt, 1 teaspoon, push the button, and now you make hypochlorite, which is stronger than bleach. So that's what the Kangen used to make, hypochlorite. They didn't make hypochlorous, only hypochlorite. So this makes both. So now you have a very powerful disinfectant to clean everything in your home. So this little bottle makes it. And if you wanted to, you can even take it in your purse. Just get a big purse or backpack. You can put it in a little smaller container too, just put it in there. Okay, so it's eco-friendly, makes 2 different things. Okay, then we have the Hydro Shot. And I love this. If you're walking around town or you're going up hiking and you're walking with this little guy here, people are going to be like, what is that? As you know, we have an affiliate program. So if you're wanting to promote our products and you're out there with this, what is that? It's called a lead magnet. You got a lead magnet. It's an opening to a conversation. Someone's going to be like, what is that? You can be like, you don't know about this yet? This is hydrogen. This is the most powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory you can put in the body. In fact, I'm going to take a shot right now and I'm going to know how it feels to feel good. Would you like to feel what it feels like to feel good? You're like, yeah, I do. You're like, oh, you got to go down there to thatmanbob.com. You got to get yourself one too. And then you're going to give them your card. And guess what? You get a referral for that, 5%. And if you're an affiliate, it's 20%. So this comes with the pack as well. This is our Hydro Shot. It can make anywhere from 4.5 to 6.5 parts per million of hydrogen because it sits there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So if you're having a good time last night and you're like, I'm not really sure if I want to go to that water presentation because I'm kind of hangover a little bit, what are you going to do? 10 minutes. You're going to push it for 10 minutes because it's going to go right in your body and it's going to mop up all those free radicals that are causing the inflammation of your brain. And you're like, oh, I don't have a hangover. That's really great. It's known as hangover water. In some areas, yeah. Okay, so here we go. So we have the bundle pack with the pre-filter. So we have 2 different bundle packs with this, these products. We have our standard home unit bundle pack. So it comes with the machine. You can do either or. You can do this guy or this guy. So if you want it under your counter, you would do this one. If you want it on top of your counter in ozone, you do this one. Then we have the pre-filter that comes with, the eco-friendly filter. And then we have the hydro shot, and we have the hypochlorous and hypochlorite. So that's one pack. Okay. And that's a little bit about the eco-friendly filter. We kind of already touched on it. We have the affiliate pack. So the price here, we're looking at only $39.95. So only $3,995 for everything. And if you have a Kangen water machine from the past, we are still doing our trade-in program. So we're taking them on a trade and giving you $1,000 credit. So you're only looking at $29.95. And I'm going to tell you something right here. Like, if I would have known now what I would have been knowing back then, like, holy cow. We've taken so many machines on trade, and that we can go around the corner. You can check them out. We'll open them if you want in front of you that have never been opened before and show you what is inside. There is, yeah, bring it right out. There is calcium on the electrodes with mold, bacteria, smelling like dead fish. Because with the Kangen machines, because it's ionizing the water, it's making alkaline water, you now have all the calcium that's going over the electrodes. And the calcium is going to deposit. And if you're not cleaning it consistently over 2 weeks, what's going to happen? It's going to build up. And then you drink it some more, and it's building up some more. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's been 6 months. It's telling me to change the filter, but I don't want to spend the money. So I'll just push the button over here that says replace the filter. And oh, I replaced it, but I didn't. People do that because they don't want to spend the money. And now they're drinking water from this unit. And now after a year, they're like, hey, Amanda, can I get a deep cleaning? I'm like, absolutely. So when they come in, I'm like, have you been maintaining this unit every 2 weeks doing the cleaning? Oh, no. It says cleans it right there. When, it says it's cleaning it. No, that's not cleaning it. And so what we decided to do as just an experiment is, now that we have so many machines coming in, we just thought, oh, we'll just, take a couple apart. And so what we've been finding, this is just one Horatius took apart. This is what's inside. This is all calcium that's building up. And what was really weird is we were giving out water and customers would be like, why is there white flakes in the water? Oh, it's just calcium. It's natural. It's fine. We didn't know the calcium was being flaked off the plates because it was sitting there drying overnight. We had no idea. We didn't have the pre-filters back then because we didn't know how important it was, but now we do. So anyways, there's sculpting. Look at that. This is just burning of the electrodes. And you're supposed to have the platinum coming in contact with the water. So when we do test these, when they come in, we test them for hydrogen. We deep clean them because we were going to refurbish these and sell them. But now we're like, no way. We don't think that's a good idea anymore. Because this is after we put it through the process of deep cleaning twice, letting it sit overnight. So we have a pressured pump that we typically charge $80 to have the customer come and do it. And it makes high powered water that's blasting in there with citric acid. Then we let it sit overnight and soak. This is after that process twice. Because we were going to sell it, try to get our money back out of it. But I would rather not do that because I can't now that I know. Anyways, so we'll open another one up. I want to open a K8 up as well, the newest technology from Magic. I'm not here to make people feel bad. It's like, once you know something, you feel obligated to share it with people because we know, no, they aren't cleaning it. So if you're maintaining it all the time, you might not have an issue. I don't know without going inside of it. Check it out. Okay, so there's our bundle pack, $39.95. Financing that one is about $40 to $60 per month if you have good credit. Okay, so then we can become an affiliate. So what does that mean? If you want, you can just start promoting these products. You don't have to own a product in order to have the product, but you got to have our affiliate pack. This gives you all the branding and marketing material. So we have a CRM program. How many of you know what that is? Yeah. So the problem that we have is you have a lot of people excited about this. You remember all of them? Do you remember all the people that you have excited about it? No, because your brain is not a CRM program. So when you know somebody that's interested, you put them in your program, and then the program sends them an email and a text message and keeps everybody, all in one spot. So you get access to that whole program we developed that's just for this business, as well as landing pages that looks like a website that's got you on it. Callie's got hers. And at the bottom of the page, they can book an appointment right with you. It goes onto your calendar, schedules it with you, sends you a reminder that you have an appointment, and it sends them one too. So you can even get your own information printed on those flyers. You get water containers, you can give out the water. You get books and all kinds of great things too. Training. 2 times a week in Zoom, we do trainings. Very awesome. All right, so here's our whole product lineup, just so you see what else we have in store for you. We have therapeutic eye goggles. So here is our goggles. So this takes hydrogen and infuses in your eyes, warm and cold. So for those people that have eye issues, what's the eyes? What's the environment? The eyes are getting exposed to oxidation, which creates the inflammation, and now your eye cells break down. So if you wanted to put these on your eyes, wow, you're going to notice right after 15 minutes, it's like you can see clear. It's amazing. So these are really powerful. We have a air purification system. It's a 9-stage, so it's going to clean your entire environment, 1,500 square feet. So you're not breathing all that contaminated air. It also kills the bacteria in the air as well. We have our brain tap. Remember we talked about having brain stress from the thought you thought? Your own thought created the stress. You know, you can die from thought alone. Did you know that? You can die from thought alone because we create our own stress. And so if we have a positive thought, it leads to a positive chemical, positive emotion, feeling, hormone, oxytocin, serotonin, and happy things. So the brain tap goes on your ears and it conditions your brain to get out of the negative and onto the positive. And it does that by getting into your subconscious mind, past your analytical thinking part of your mind where all that stress is produced. And it's awesome. 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, you're like, whoa, I feel so relaxed and so calm. You could be in the worst stress. You go in there, 10 minutes later, you walk out of there, you're like, wow, I feel so calm and relaxed. How many of you used that? Yeah, it's awesome. Okay. All right, so that is pretty much it. We do have the whole house bundle pack, which we have at the beginning here. This is our most popular. And this one is right here. Okay, you can't really see it because the whole house system kind of gets lost, but you can either do this model here or this model. So you can swap. So this one's $69.95. So for $6,995, you can get a whole house water system and the hydrogen and the hydro shot and the disinfectant spray. And that's going to last at least 10 to 15 years with no maintenance. No more bottled water, no more showering in contaminated water, and you know for sure you're getting good water. And then you can have all your friends and family start coming over and showering at your house too. And you can just be the neighborhood in and out. You know, you can bring your towel today. Okay, see you later. You can even charge for it if you want. Be like, hey, I got to pay off my filter here. $10. Come shower at my house. You know, we promote the water to share the water to help the health benefit, but you know, you can share your water too if you want to start showering there too. It makes a big difference, Audrey, wouldn't you say? What have you noticed in your skin since showering in it?
My skin isn't as dry as it was. It was very like scaly.
Mm-hmm.
There in my hair.
Yes. Cool. Yeah, it's funny because I'm used to it. So now that I'm used to it, you don't really, when you feel good, you don't realize how you felt when you were feeling bad, right? So the power went out like 2 weeks ago, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and there's literally no power in the whole entire house. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't see anything. When's the power going to come on? So anyways, the whole house water system, it also went off. And then it hadn't rebooted itself. In the morning, I go to take a shower, and it's working again. You know, the water's on and the lights are on, and everything's good. I'm like, holy, it smells like chlorine. What's going on here? Like, oh no, I don't like the way, what's going on with my skin? It's like flaking over here. And I go to the tap and I'm like, what's going on? So I go out to the garage, and of course, because it's electrical, right? It went off and it wasn't cleaning the water. I was like, oh, now I know just how good I was feeling, but I could start to notice it. So that's going to happen to you too. So if you've been showering chlorinated water, you're used to it. When you go to the clean water and you're, oh man, you don't ever want to go back to that other water. It just doesn't feel good.
I even smell the smell. I usually took your on well water.
Yes.
But there's like others still, your water softener. They took care of most of it, but it's still lingering and it's like.
Yes. And you had high iron too. Yeah. Yeah. And so if those of you that are out there online, you're like, well, I live in an area that has iron, or you have a lot of fluoride or something specific. First, we want to get a certified lab to test the water. We'll send it to the lab. We'll break it apart, see what we have. And then after that, hey, we can customize these filters. We have our 5 levels of medium there, but hey, if you've got something terrible else than what we typically have, just make you up whatever you need. All right. Okay, so if there's any questions at all with any information that you saw so far? No questions? Okay, well, we have pizza over there. We got right across the street from Atomic Ale. So we got 2 different kinds. There should be plates and napkins. So feel free to have some for yourself. Get some water. If you haven't already had some water, take yourself some hydration home with you. And then anyone that you know that wants to try the water, we do a 30 days complimentary. Come in here. We have the water containers. If you want to be an affiliate, send people down. We have a whole system we got to teach you about that we do that for. And then 7 visits to any of the other services we have here. So we have sound frequency medicine back here, which is a vibration on your whole body, brings your cell voltage up, helps your body heal, helps lessen inflammation, pain. We have red light therapy, which is great for inflammation and pain. We have a hydrogen spa. So we have a spa you sit in, and it steams the hydrogen into your skin. Then we have an inhalation of hydrogen over here. It goes into your brain and into your lungs, and you can breathe the hydrogen. So a lot of different therapies. We have yoga that we do here, 8 sessions per week, and you get 7 visits. And everybody that you know gets 7 visits. I just want to help people get out of stress, because if we can get out of stress, what does our body do? Heals itself. Yep. But if you keep having the stress, you're going to keep having the issues. So that's really the mission, is to help free people from physical pain and financial pain, because everybody drinks water and everybody has stress. It's a simple solution. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you everyone for, yes, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already done that onto the YouTube channel here. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do that as well. We always put out new content, and we do contests too. We have a lot of great things. We also have a molecular scientist coming in 2 weeks. So this gentleman is from California. He's world renowned. He's an author. He has 8 films that have international awards behind them. He used to study drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, and now he's on hydrogen. And he did that because his friend's like, hey, I want you to check this hydrogen out. You're so good with the pharmaceuticals, but check the hydrogen. He started checking the hydrogen. He's like, oh my gosh. So we have him coming in 2 weeks on the Saturday. So he'll be at 10 o'clock and it's to 5 o'clock. We'll do the training in the morning on the science of the hydrogen water. Then the afternoon, we'll be talking about our products and also do some mentorship as well with the affiliates. So you can register for that. Just go on the website, click the button at the top, says events, and bam, right there. And then you also get a book. So his book, I don't have it up here, but his book's $19.95. The course is $19.95. And you're going to get an autograph on that book. Yes. All right. Okay. Well, we'll see you all soon.